In a fairly recent video on wacky Intamin coasters, I briefly talked about a ride known as Vertigorama. However, I didn't delve into the history of the ride or the park that it is located in at all. Today, let's go back in time and learn about the history and failure of Parque de la Ciudad, or City Park. Before I start, I'd like to quickly apologize in advance for all of the awful pronunciation that will undoubtedly happen in this video. I'm American and speak no Spanish whatsoever, so I'll be more or less sounding it out to the extent of my abilities. Located in the midst of the Villa Soldati neighborhood in Argentina, City Park was planned by Mayor Osvaldo Cachiarte. He became the mayor shortly after the original military dictatorship ended. The park was envisioned to be the centerpiece and main attraction of the neighborhood, taking it out of its dilapidated state. The project was open to bidding for anyone to work on, and Interama Parks SA was chosen. The company went straight to the well-known Swiss manufacturer Intamin to order attractions, games, roller coasters, facilities, popcorn machines, and a 682-foot tall, 208 meters, observation tower known as the Interama Tower. Construction on the project started in 1978 on a 120-hectare plot of land. They started by removing everything in their way and began the real work. To level out the site, over 1 million cubic meters of earth had to be moved. Then they began work on creating hills, lakes, and other landscaping features. They even worked on assembling a replica of the Russian mountains. The first major attraction was the Interama Tower. This was an average observation tower, except for the fact that it featured a full-on restaurant. Some other big attractions that were put up were Vertigorama, an Intamin dueling coaster with a cost of $10 million, aero gondolas, a sky ride with a cost of $4.5 million, and a Aconcagua, a roller coaster priced at $6.5 million. When the observation tower failed to have been completed by the end of 1980, it was made into one temporary, massive Christmas tree. Eventually, everything got built, and it opened in 1982 with 60 attractions. However, the signature coaster, Vertigorama, was not open, as not all parts were delivered. Blame Intamin, I suppose. When Argentina once again became a democratic country in 1983, Mayor Julio Cesar Seguier revoked Interama's lease and sued them for their estimated $100 million in debt. The city also massively overshot the projected number of guests, thinking a whopping 15 million people would visit. In reality, the park hit 1.1 million in 1985 and declined slowly after. Buenos Aires took over after Interama, but in 2000, Interama filed a lawsuit against Buenos Aires for a breach of contract. They wanted 2 billion pesos, and it ultimately failed after 3 attempts. The park was not doing well, and in 2003, Mayor Anibal Ibarra made the decision to close the park due to its deteriorating condition. It reopened 3 years later, but ongoing safety concerns closed it again in 2008. It wasn't the end though, because in 2010, City Park was again reopened for the nation's bicentennial. This happened during refurbishment and replacement of rides not able to be operated. This reopening also included the additions of a cultural center and art gallery. It hosted free rock concerts in 2013, but yet again closed. It wasn't done yet though, because in 2018, it was used as the main location for the Summer Youth Olympics. Now it stands without rides as an average park, except for the observation tower. Not an amusement park, just a park. What happened to all the rides though? Or, more importantly, coasters? Aconcagua was a custom Schwarzkopf that went SB&O from 2003 until 2015 and has since been torn down. Alpenblitz was the Schwarzkopf Alpenblitz that went SB&O until 2017, when it too was torn down. Jetstar has a more interesting history. It was supposed to arrive from Intamin with other rides in 1979, but it could not be seen in satellite images until 2001. To add insult to injury, it was seen in a haphazard condition with parts strewn around recklessly. It is unknown whether or not it was ever set up. In October 2017, it was seen at a fairground post-refurbishment and now travels with fantastic Diverland fun fairs. The next 2 coasters are both Intamin children's coasters, much like the famous Wilderness Run at Cedar Point. Yes, this park had 2 of the exact same model. One had Super added to its name, so it was presumably more extreme than the other. The Super version was SB&O until 2013, while the more mild ride had 6 more years to stand in a decrepit state. finally is Wildcat, a Schwarzkopf Wildcat that remained SB&O until 2016 when it was torn down. I said finally, but there is one other coaster. It was supposed to be the main attraction of the park, but it never even opened. This is Vertigorama, an Intamin double or racing roller coaster. As mentioned previously, not all parts needed were delivered, and because of that, Vertigorama never even ran a train. Instead, it has been standing but not operating since it was built in 1983. It wasn't torn down with the rest of the coasters, so it just stands, doing nothing, rotting away slowly. In conclusion, the failure of City Park was largely caused by a massive overshooting of predicted guests, questionable management, parts not being shipped right, and safety concerns. Basically, everything that could have gone wrong, went wrong. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe for more stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.
Sitting in the back, getting heated out my seat. Rolling Thunder Hill, no, nothing can compare to the riding on a wing. You be on the swings, I've been getting thrills. You ain't never seen a coaster. Riding on the voyage, airtime in the